What up, y'all? It's Chris.
And Trav.
And we're with Fake Rich and Tired. We wanted to do a quick just intro to this upcoming video, which is just audio. I'm going to throw some pictures and stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it's basically based on a Facebook post by one of our friends. Shout out to Fran again. But she posed a question. People say marriage is a business. Is it? And if so, then what does that mean?
Right.
So we did not intend for this to be a video, but what happens is we tend to start having these dialogues. I'll pose a question. He'll come home, and I'll be like, "Oh, this question," and then we'll have like this dialogue.
We'll have the dialogue, and then be mad that we didn't record it. Like, man, I could have went on Fake Rich or something like that. So this time she had the idea from the post, and we're like, you know what, we got to record it. We didn't have time to set up the camera and all of that good stuff, so we did the best we could do.
Record it.
Grab the phone.
Yeah, it's not the audio quality is not the greatest, but you can hear it.
You can definitely hear it,
and it's a decent length video. So if you got to watch it in segments, do that. But
watch it all though.
Watch it all or listen to it all. I think it's a pretty good dialogue, and we want to hear you guys' feedback on what you think about the question and some of the topics we cover in the video too.
Yeah, and let us know what you think as far as your opinion on it. So answer the question down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Share.
Please share.
And tell other people to subscribe because we love y'all like that.
We do. Thank y'all. Hope y'all enjoy.
Peace. The question is marriage a business? And if so, what does that mean? First, I would like to say, what does that mean? And then I can ask or answer the if so part. Like, what does is marriage a business mean?
So I think you have to answer the first part first for you.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're saying it's not, then you can't answer it. And I get that.
I think for some it might be.
Give me your thoughts. What do you think it means? If people say marriage is a business, what do you think that means?
That's what I'm trying to give you. It's because I don't necessarily agree that it's a business.
Okay.
So I would have to assume someone else's standpoint. And what I would say is similar to business model. You go into a partnership, no different in business. You have a family goal, which is the same as your vision or business plan. And you work to achieve those milestones. So in business, it might be to sell 100,000 units by X, Y, and Z. In marriage, it may be to have a kid by this time, have this type of job by this time, save X amount of dollars by this point. Like it's a planning process for your family. So yeah, I think in that respect, it could be a business. It could be viewed as a business. But there's other things that also go into that. You may not. So in marriage, you may not love the partner that you're with, but because they're great to build with, you can marry somebody because of the powerhouse effect. You know what I mean? Kind of like we saw on the show, and the politician. Power. Tate. Governor for Tate.
Like me and you.
He like me. You're right. Me and you. Like we can instead of making it to this point, we can make it all the way here. You know what I'm saying? I think some people might go into marriage like that. So it could be seen as a business from that perspective, it can also be seen as a business from people who may be pushing marriage. David's Bridal, Kay, and all these other people
That's a good point.
that are pushing it. Like, they're not pushing
I get what you're saying.
the love part per se, or whatever the core of marriage should be. I guess that's because it
pushing the
differs
wedding.
from person to person. Right.
Make
They
that
pushing the wedding.
Yeah.
And
But
then
as two partners, though, just your opinion,
Uh-huh.
before we get too deep into
Two
the
partners.
assumption, do you believe that marriage is a business?
the more I talk
Simplify it.
about business and the whole chain that follows, and comparatively I talk about marriage and the similarities to it, which was based on other people's perception, I'm kind of leaning, or my thoughts on other people and their perception, I'm kind of leaning towards, yeah, it's a business.
So I'm mad that you changed it, because I was like, man, we finally got something that we disagree on, so we can go back and forth. Well, we disagree on a lot. I shouldn't say it like that.
We do.
But because I absolutely have always believed that marriage is a business.
Why?
Here is why. Think about this. Now, I'm cheating a little bit because I have read some of the comments from the post.
See.
But a lot of this is my original thinking. So part of it is people think immediately when you say business, it's about I'm selling something that's monetary, I got a profit.
Well,
that's
it might
not
be some
always-
dudes out there that's trying to sell his wife for profit.
Might be. But that's not always why businesses are established.
True.
Let me give you an example. Public schools,
Yep.
they are not for profit, but they have a goal to provide education. They are structured. They have a reason. They got a board of directors. They got all this stuff, but it's not necessarily for profit. It's something totally different.
Okay.
It's not Microsoft trying to build computers and sell and make
Of
and
course.
make and build software and sell and make money.
However, it's a business.
But it's still a business. I might get some flack for this, but churches are not for
Churches are
profit
a
organization, but they are businesses.
What's the dude? He was doing a deposition. Some pastor or something. He was doing a deposition, and they were talking about his $2-point-something million home that he has listed as a community center.
Or something like that. Yeah, I remember that. I don't.
She said, well, you got $6,000 that you spent in Gucci, and he like, yeah, that's for the clothes because I sweat through them and all of that.
But guess what? It's all business expenses.
It's all
That's a whole
business.
different discussion too.
Right.
But we want to know how the wealthy stay wealthy. They make decisions like that.
I
They
agree.
know how to make it business.
But at what point is there a divide? I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Don't get off topic.
Go ahead.
So, but the reason that I say that is because automatically when people think business, they think profit and monetary gain. They don't think organization, structure, goal. They automatically think it's monetary gain, and they automatically think negative for some reason. Like, oh, marriage is a business. That's a negative thing. I don't view it that way. Like you said, when people
I can understand how
construct
it's
a
viewed
business-
negatively. I'll touch on that when you're done.
Okay. Some people, when they put together a business, they have something that they are trying to build or to monetize or to whatever it is. It's a goal. There's a goal there. There is
Passion.
structure there. There is some passion there, because a lot of people are like, well, the love. I'm gonna get to that when I get to the marriage part. There's some passion there.
Yeah.
There's something that you're trying to organize there. You got a vision. You got a mission. You got core values. There's structure. There's all this put into place.
Okay.
With marriage, now, I'm not saying the people who get married for the wrong reasons, don't get me wrong, but with marriage, when people say marriage is a business, you got a vision. There's something between the two of y'all, and I'm saying that because it's the United States and legally, I don't want to hear about
Let's
polyamorous
keep
relationship
going.
and all that. But the two of y'all got a vision of where y'all want to go. Y'all got some structure. Y'all making plans. Y'all got a business. If you in a serious marriage, y'all got plans. Y'all sit down. Here's one of the, and this is why I say I'm cheating a little bit, because I read one of the comments.
Okay.
One of the people who commented said something like, you sit down, you have business meetings, you have goal planning sessions, you got marketing. How does this marriage look to people on the outside? What do we show them so they can see? You got budget planning, like all this different structure that you have in a marriage. That those are the things that compare to business. I would even go out to think that a lot of people who plan their businesses probably take some of their cues from marriage, because it's structured in such a way that it's like it's a contract. We go,
or vice versa.
I know, or vice versa. I'm saying to connect the two. Like I would venture to say, like some CEOs be like, oh, like me and my wife, this is how we plan things, and this is what made us successful. This is how we did our budget, so this is how I can bring that to my business. And like I said, or vice versa. But that's how I say it can connect, because all those things, and there are more things. Like I just drilled down a few different things, but if you look at those two things, not the negative aspect of whatever, I don't know why people look at business as negative, whatever, but if you look at that and you connect those things, you got a common vision. That's what a business is. That everybody has a common vision. We got a goal to do something, whether it's to make a profit, whether it's to educate some kids, whether it's to build this church.
Don't forget to connect the love part.
2,000 members. Oh, okay. We'll go back to the love part. There's a goal, and then we have all these different things that are structured, like the business meetings. As a married couple, y'all have business meetings. Y'all sit down and say, okay, like me and you, we'll sit down and say, okay, we got a goal to do this, and that. Whether it's to have children by a certain time, or to have a house by a certain time, or make this amount of money, whatever it is, we have goal planning sessions. And we, what was the other thing? We got a budget. We got to sit down and we got a budget, like what we need. This is how much we got to spend. This is how much we got to bring in order to spend that much. All those same things align to business, and that, just that part alone should show why marriage is a business.
It shows why we view it as a business.
Well, the question was, is marriage a business?
Okay.
You still don't think us viewing it as you still think that's wrong to say, though?
No.
Oh.
Never said that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying we also have to look at the perspective of those who disagree, who feel like marriage is not a business. Everyone don't have a business mind, for one, to even correlate the structure and all of that good stuff. Secondly, most people, I imagine, I don't have factual proof, but I imagine a lot of people that would say it's not a business are rooted in biblical principles, and it's what God put together. It's a covenant, this, that, and the other, versus the negative side of business, where people can be shrewd, they can manipulate and operate in unethical ways, so on and so forth, which obviously can happen in a marriage. However, the point in marriage is to never do that, like to not do that. That's not always the point in business.
If you establish a business, you think the goal is to be shrewd or to do something against what your business. I'm not saying somebody else's, because if you got a business and you got to make profit and you do something dirty, like develop a software or a website and don't include your other friends in it that was there in the beginning, like that could be considered shrewd business stuff. But I don't think that connects to the marriage part. Like, as in a marriage, like, yeah, you gonna be loyal to that marriage. Like, if you view the marriage and view the business, right? So you two are gonna be loyal to each other because that's the marriage. But if you do something shrewd or that sucks, okay, I'll give you an example. if like people say like I kill for my husband or my wife, blah blah blah. Like that would be shrewd business. But
No.
you did it
No,
for
that's protecting. That's protecting your business.
But you kill somebody else.
That was a threat to the business. That's so. What that
But
is,
this-
that's
but
taking
you
out
still-
the competition
either way-
or something like.
But either way, you still
No.
showing how it's a business.
No, that's different.
It's a bit you protecting your business.
What I would say is shrewd or bad business relationships that I think could correlate from marriage to business and the other way around would probably be, let's say, bad investments. So while this is your baby, this business is your baby, you misappropriate funds because it benefits you personally. You look at GM. GM was reported to have laid off or be getting ready to lay off 14,000 to 1,400. That's a big difference, by the way. But it was 1-4, and I don't know how many zeros. I know it wasn't 14 people, and it wasn't 140. So it was either 1,400 or 14,000. 1,400 is a lot of people. But anyway, they were reported to have laid these people off, but yet and still paid their CEO $22 million for whatever that bonus or perk was. I didn't read the full story, but based on the headline, obviously, to people, GM looked bad, right? Their president or CEO is not, like, she probably don't care. You know what I'm saying? But that's a personal interest within a company. Now, in that company, these employees should be just as tight in that woven fabric of the company and principle and all of that
they are
as
stakeholders. Yes.
they are stakeholders. And that's no different than in the marriage. My partner is a stakeholder. My kids are stakeholders. My lineage, my niece, nephew, grands, and all of that, they are stakeholders, right? Maybe not niece and nephew, but
Don't matter. I get your point.
I wonder if kids could even count. Because
They do.
they grow up and they
But do you
become their
remember
own.
your point?
Yeah, the point was if me as a man goes out and I gamble all of our money away, right? I'm taken away because of self-interest, right? That's the core. That I'm saying that's the correlation in business.
Okay, because I thought your point was being shrewd in business, like there's
Yes,
you don't.
being shrewd in business is different than being like in marriage. So like that would be
It can be, but it depends on the shrewdness.
Well-
Because I could use the same exact example you use with GM, and I could give you a very close relative example of how that can apply in a marriage.
let me finish.
Okay.
From my perspective, those two correlate.
They do. Yes, I agree.
Those two correlate. It's hard for me to give you the other side because it's not my thinking. But for those who might disagree that marriage is a business, I'm giving you some of the things that may come from their perspective. And one of those things, I guess it's hard for me to give you that example of the shrewd businessman.
Stop trying to assume other people's thoughts.
I'm not necessarily trying to assume it, but for
I want to
me,
know your thoughts.
my thoughts after the opening statement as to whether or not I think marriage is a business, when I gave the two examples, that swayed me easily as to the fact that it is a business.
You talked yourself through it.
I talked myself into it. Hell. But
because at first you were like, nah.
let's take a quick moment. So just want to say shout out to everybody that might be listening. I want to say shout out to anybody that is a sponsor. We don't have any right now. However, I'm getting myself used to breaks in conversation to be able to give shout out to the sponsors that I know we're going to have.
Because we're building our show, speaking into
I
existence.
know we're going to have them, and I should have done this 3 minutes ago. I was taught that you should do it at the 15-minute mark. We're at the 19-minute mark.
We that far in?
Yes, we are. So shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to our listeners.
Shout out to Fran for sparking this conversation because she posted this on Facebook and the comments like had me going. Like I was heated. I couldn't wait for my husband to get home to discuss this.
So shout out to all you guys. Continue to listen. Be on the lookout for free game. Be on the lookout for local hustle and many, many more. Also follow Fake Rich and Tired on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Follow Fake Rich and Tired. We got a lot of things in the works for you guys, so just stay tuned. All right. So back to the conversation.
I want to go back to something you said before you get too far.
Go ahead.
Because you talked about the people who are of the negative on this
Right.
side. So there was like some comments. Somebody said, well, scripturally it's not listed that way. But I don't know.
It's not listed what way?
As a business. But I don't know even though it doesn't say like, Adam and Eve, blah, 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 and they made a business.
I mean,
if you look at the structure of family and how things were assigned,
it don't say,
and how things were inherited and how things were moved, I disagree. I think that the Bible clearly shows that marriage, if you're
like
spiritual,
you vehemently disagree.
I disagree. I feel like the Bible clearly shows, without saying this is a business.
It don't say Adam is the CEO.
But I feel like it shows structure.
Eve is the president.
And when you got a family, you got to establish certain order. Certain people get stuff in certain ways. So the firstborn gets this and that.
So open up your page and find the comments that object or oppose to marriage being a business. Read off the ones that are sensible. Like, I don't want to hear it's not because it's not. Like, read off, like if
we had somebody that said nope.
I'm sure.
And it's somebody who I admire and admire their marriage, so I was shocked. But. Well,
different viewpoints. I mean, it for some they just don't. They don't want they do not want the waters muddied with their marriage being a business. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy though. Well, she ain't gonna watch this. If she does, I hope she does. The person that said it, I think about the stuff that they've established talking about their marriage and their business, and I'm like, how could you not? Like, all the decisions that you make, everything that you do, you are showing us that your marriage is absolutely a business. But anyway, okay.
Well, we can't pat them on the hand for it.
No, not people have their opinion. I get it. We talked about the love.
Okay. You don't have to read it verbatim for the sake of protecting any identities, but give us the gist of it.
People who say that are marrying for anything other than love.
Huh?
So anyone who says that marriage is a business
are marrying for some other reason outside of love.
So that goes back to your power reference.
Right.
Like stuff like that.
Right.
I also had
let's talk about that.
Let me give you this comment too, because it's close. It's very close because it's related to that comment. And I want to read it because I responded directly to this comment. Give me a second because there was a lot of comments.
Well.
Either that person is unhappily married or not married at all.
The person that says marriage is a business.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
as far as the love part, so they're saying they didn't marry for love.
Mm-hmm. They married for other reasons than love.
I'll tell you this. What about those who didn't marry for love but have been married for 60 years and have the most tremendous love between the two because it grew on them or whatever?
That's what they're saying. They established a good business.
They might not look at it like that. they might look at it for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, back in the day, like you get a woman knocked up, we got to step up to the plate and be the provider, the man, the husband, and all of that good stuff. Yeah, I don't necessarily love her. However, my actions cause this to have to happen because of my moral beliefs or whatever. Whatever.
Here's what. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished.
I'm making that, but I'm asking you, like, what's your thought on them saying, one, they're not marrying for love. I disagree with that, by the way. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. If you think your marriage is a business or you liken it to a business, I don't think that there means there's no love. I personally feel like the same type of passion that you have for starting a business, you got to realize starting a business is working against all odds. That is difficult, especially in this day and age, because everything that you think of damn near somebody got in some way, shape, or form.
Replace everything you just said with marriage, and it goes in the same sentence. It's replace business with marriage. I'm sorry, and it's the same way. But keep going.
Same way in what way?
Starting a marriage goes against all odds. Everything that you just
especially
said.
Nowadays.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
But just thinking about and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm correlating the two because that's why I disagree with that statement. I disagree with it because of everything I just said, as well as the fact that the passion that it takes to fight through all of that, to me, is equivalent to the love that it takes to fight through marital issues and the things that go on in marriage. Marriages are not always successful. No different than businesses are not always successful. And the ones that are the ones who put in the work, time, effort, and everything else to be successful.
Absolutely.
So that's why I disagree with that statement on love. People who marry with the concept of it being business is not marrying for love. I also disagree with the other one that was similar but stated that they are either unhappy or single. I disagree, but I don't want to take
the assumption that like everybody that starts a business is unhappy. Like that's why I'm like, why is business looked at as such a negative thing?
There's
so many successful businesses.
Here's why I disagree with that statement, and I'll start with the correlation to business first. Some of the people who start their own business, it is statistically shown they work more hours, they get paid less, but they are the happiest versus someone who works the same amount of hours and get the same pay that goes to work for somebody else. It's something about
just
fulfilling,
this
is mine, the energy, the time, energy, and all of that I'm putting in it, it's because it's mine. The payoff at the end of it is what I'm so stoked about. Like,
powerful words. So I think that the problem, I don't want to say problem, I hate to say that. I think that the reason that people view it in the negative to say that marriage is not a business is because they're looking at business in a negative.
I was going to say, you cannot say success rate of business. I thought you were going... I thought you were going there.
Because if you look at the success rate of business, it's success rate of marriage.
That's where I was going.
Okay,
because you can't look at marriage as the positive and business as the negative when the success rate...
but if you look at mirrors. Exactly. So they look at business in a negative. They look at business as just like a monetary gain.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm only getting into this to make some money or blah, blah, blah. We talked a little bit about that earlier.
Getting into marriage for that?
Getting into business for a monetary gain, but that's why people say, oh, it's not a business because I didn't get into marriage for a monetary gain. But we established that already. Like
some women did.
whatever. We established already that not all businesses are created just for a monetary gain. A lot of businesses have a purpose, and every business has their different purpose, has their different vision, has their different values, as every marriage does. Businesses are successful, and we're going into this a little bit, but a business being successful may be based on the passion. It may be based on the demand. Like, there's a whole lot of different things that go on with why and how a business is successful. However, you started going into this, like, there's a passion about a business, right?
Right.
So you go into a business because you got this goal, you got this passion to build whatever it is. If it's the next Amazon, the next Apple, like whatever, you got this passion. But do you think that every single day that Bill Gates was like, I love Microsoft, oh my God, it's so fucking amazing? No.
Bill Gates
and
is
the
mad.
same thing is with marriage. Like, you ain't gonna love every single day. Yes, you love your partner. Like, don't get me wrong.
But you damn sure ain't gonna like.
You ain't gonna like them a whole lot of days. And it's not people are so sold up on, oh my God, it's love that keeps marriages. Love, man.
I feel like those are the people who
say it's not like a business.
No, not necessarily. I guess it's something about people with these false expectations of what marriage is. And I think those are the people who don't understand the correlation, who have trouble with this thought process, is because they're holding on to the Cinderellas, the fairy tale story. Like, I can understand
businesses.
I can understand some people, again, if it's some religious background, like I get some people are just not open to the idea.
But even if it's a religious background, you need to open your mind up. We just proved that. We just showed in the Bible how a marriage is a business.
We just stated our opinion. It don't necessarily mean that people are going to open their mind to it. It don't mean, like, some people, they don't want new information. No, we're talking to the people who are open to it.
You're right.
And the people who are, if nothing else, interested in in the perspective of people who feel like marriage is a business or can be likened to a business.
I agree.
That's who we're talking to.
But a lot of people are some are in between and some are leaning more toward it's a business. A lot of people are saying, like, you sign a contract, so, like, that's what makes it a business. Like, it's a business
sign a contract
your
marriage
license.
license.
Yeah, so when you get a divorce, you got to divide assets. Like, that, all that same stuff happens when you have a business. Like, I can agree with that, but I'm just talking about structure.
Right.
Overall, like, the structure of a business, it might not be A to Z, like, this is the CEO. I mean, if you want to go back to them scriptural people, technically, well, yeah, you got Christ, you got the
Christ
husband,
is the CEO, baby.
Right.
He the founder and CEO.
You got a hierarchy, so I mean, if y'all want to go back to the Bible, I can do that too. However, like, I'm not saying that
Adam would be the president. But the wife is the board. Like, we already know.
She
like,
make all the
decisions, all that.
But she might mess some decisions up by
she
eating
might.
an apple.
And then, yeah, like eating an apple. And then the president get to blame it on the board as to why we in the position we in.
So a couple of the we talked about love.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody's like, well, if you, I think the biggest problem, and this is my opinion, and I guess this is why I'm so passionate about answering the question, is like, most of the time the people who jump to say no, and in my opinion, the people who commented, and I can see their response, because most people are just like, no. But the people who jump to say no, I think they're viewing business negatively instead of just viewing the structure. So I think we got that answer.
Quite possible.
I really, really do think we have that answer. Most people who are in favor have great comments. They say, you know, you're establishing a family legacy. You're making business decisions every day. What are we gonna eat for dinner is a business decision. I mean, technically it is, depending on what level, what class you are. Like,
are we eating ramen noodles or are we eating steak?
That's a
what
business
are our
decision.
funds?
And
what
in
can
a
we
business,
allocate?
Exactly. In a business, you might have to decide, okay, do I gotta cut some employees, like, because like we can't afford to pay them? Like in a home, you might have to be like, oh, okay, we got some services and stuff that we got.
Cable.
I might have to cut my cable, or I might have to get a cheaper accountant because this one is more expensive. Like, you have to make business decisions in a marriage.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I'm going through some of the comments. Marriages should be based off love. We talked about that already.
Right.
People stay in businesses for perks.
Marriage has its perks.
Okay, well, you see, but you connected everything.
Oh, well. Do you stay in a marriage for perks?
You could.
Some could. Hey, I think some get married for perks.
I will say this. I'll give you an example. Not to like pour no salt on our relationship at all. However, like, first of all, thank God that you have allowed me to like make the decision to not go back to corporate America and to do my own thing independently. But my perk would be, you got a job, you got benefits. Like, why would I divorce you? Because if I divorce you, but I just showed you a perk. Ain't that a perk for me?
Yeah. Can we talk about some of my perks?
What's your perks? I don't know if I want to talk about
We ain't
your
gonna
perks,
talk
so
about them right now.
We ain't gonna talk about
We
your
ain't gonna
perks.
talk about my perks right now. What's some of the other things that they saying?
So this, I want to read this person's comment because it was so powerful to me.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second before you read that. I don't know when we're going to post this or anything like that, but anybody out there that is listening to this, chime in. Let us know what you think, especially if you are opposed to the idea of marriage being likened to a business, because we want to hear your thoughts. Right now, we have a limited amount of comments with thoughts from that perspective. So I definitely want to hear everyone's thoughts. So whenever this is posted or however it's out there, make sure you figure out how to connect with us. Whatever link is out there, just make sure to connect to us and
Please do. Give us
leave
your
a comment, leave some feedback. Thank you for everybody that's listening so far. Please continue listening. We got some great stuff on the horizon, so stay looking out for us. As of right now, please follow Fake Rich and Tired on hell, damn near all
YouTube,
platforms.
Facebook,
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter too, but I'm really not on there.
That's all right. We'll get there if y'all start following. All right. So read the question or
There's not a
the
question.
answer, the comment.
This is comment, and I think we can end with this because I think we get the point at this point. I kind of wish that you would have stayed on your fence from the beginning because I think we would have had a more in-depth discussion. But I feel like I would have.
You think you would have won?
Outdone you in the debate because I got no, just because I cheated. I got more facts. I got all the people comments who are for it. I got all the people comments who are for it. So I think I would have been able to persuade the audience because that's what you do in a debate, right?
I probably could switch the other way now and persuade the audience.
Yeah, I still cheated and got all the comments and you don't. So I would I have more to you.
Well, read the comment.
But this comment is, I don't know this person, but I did tell him on the post that I was steal his comment because I loved it and I think it makes a lot of sense. But this, his name is Vernon Cole, and shout out to Fran again for the post.
You can't just throw people out there. He might not want people to
I told him on the post I was.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we might edit that out. But this guy, if we'll edit that part out. But this guy made this great comment. He said, look at this. Marriages and businesses have both. We have periodic meetings to see how things are going. What's being done now that works, and what can be done better in the future for greater success.
Can I talk to you?
No, we're not going to get into that. Can we talk for a minute? They both make goals and projections about marketing themselves to the public. In other words, how we viewed by our children, our peers, our families, etc.
You wearing that?
But ain't that a business
I
decision?
agree. I'm tagging along with you. Come
on. They both always have a mind for longevity, expansion, duplication, growth, children, grandchildren, legacy, etc.
True.
I'm
Couple of
iffy on that
fathers.
because some people go into business to sell. But
True.
look, some people go into marriage
To
to
sell.
build up their money and the dip, right? So same. Okay, I can still agree with that. Anyway,
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
hey,
She ain't fucking
if
with
she
no
can jump in
growth.
there, get her a couple mil and get out, like that's the
Damn,
exit
couple
strategy.
mil. Yeah.
Oh, next,
How about this? Let me
next
go have
bullet
a baby.
point.
Oh,
Next
go
bullet
ahead.
point.
Go ahead.
He said, like the greatest businesses, don't look for exit strategies. They look to become the example, what their brand is. They become a household name. I think there are like the best, because he said the best businesses.
True.
So I think some of the best marriages, your Baracks and Michelle's, your J's and B, they are brands.
Yes, they
when
are.
people look at them, like they have like you look at them and you be
Yes.
like that's a brand.
Absolutely.
So when you look at your Nikes and your Amazons, that's a brand. Like they got that goal to do that, not to sell, not to exit, but to do that. They also all have licenses, budgets, financial reports, locations, CEOs, COOs, all type of stuff. I could go on, but I think you feel me. That was the end of the post. I said.
Essentially what you said.
But that was so powerful to me because I don't think people see marriage at that. They're
about
looking
the-
at, oh, we just love each other and we're together.
What
Like,
about the
no.
people who don't want to add that added level of complexity to what's an already complex system, which is marriage? I don't want to view it as a business. I don't feel like I need to compare it and this is that and the other. Keep it plain and simple.
I don't think you have to compare it, but I mean, if someone says like there is a comparison, like you can't deny.
Why do I have to agree with that?
You ain't gotta agree.
That's what we're talking about, though.
But somebody said marriage is a business. Is that true?
And why not?
And if so, why? Like you ain't got to agree, but everybody got to take a shit, and you got to shit. You got to shit. That's fact. You just got to shit.
No.
I don't care if you ignore the fact that you got to shit. You
They
got to
poop.
take a shit. I'm sorry, poop. Whatever.
I wasn't saying it for no cursing.
Oh, you saying that they don't?
I'm saying perception is a motherfucker, and perception, like my perception, is my reality.
But just because you don't call a shit, it's still a shit. That's what I'm saying.
Not according to their perception.
You can perceive that your shit is a poop all that you want to,
It's
whatever
poop.
you call it. When it comes down to it, your marriage is a
That's
business.
just like women don't poop. They don't fart. They blow fairy dust out their ass.
I don't know who's sharing it with y'all,
Say no,
but
we
those
fart.
are all lies. What else you got? Anything else that you have? That was one of the most powerful comments.
don't.
I just had to share that.
I don't have anything else. I talked myself into it. That's why I said you got to give me context prior to putting me on record, because I was all set for saying no, it's not a business, but it was based on the emotional thought process of first hearing marriage is a business.
But can you
Whoa.
explain, before we cut off, can you explain why emotionally you first went to, no, marriage is not? Can you explain?
Because my marriage, I viewed as my marriage. And I viewed it as a God-sanctioned or God ordained covenant. And I didn't want it likened to a business. I honestly didn't have enough time to think through why I didn't want it likened to a business. I don't think businesses are bad. However, subconsciously, maybe I do if we're comparing them to marriage. I don't know. I didn't have enough time to really deep dive my thought process to see what the root cause of that reaction was.
And I think that was
And that might be their case.
from their post.
You see a post, oh, hell no.
And from, again,
That's why you got a lot of nope.
Most
nope.
of the nopes. Nope. One person said nope. And I was shocked because I'm like, everything you do is
they might not have processed it enough.
and that's but ain't that wrong too? Like I don't think we think enough. Like stop.
I mean, that's
thinking.
definitely wrong. But
No comment.
you
You ain't even think about it.
You know how much stuff on social media is not thought about?
I know.
So
And then, you know what? I hate that my sarcasm gets caught up in a lot of comments and people miss like my
I
sarcasm.
like when people comment. It makes people
Me too.
think.
It engages.
Even with the notes, it's engaging and it makes people think.
Yeah.
The notes don't have a lot of content or context.
Let me think about her opinion on marriage.
But nah. But it does make people
It's also shocking
think.
to me, like
But you
other
also-
discussions we have. The notes was just nope. The people who was like yes because
They thought about
this.
They've thought
yes
about it.
because this.
They've
But that
processed it.
shows negativity. Like that, people who are usually negative are like that. Like it's just nope. It is what it is. It is. I think how I think.
But
whatever.
it's your perception
Nope.
that they're negative.
Nope.
It's your
Nope.
perception that they're negative.
Nope.
In their mind, they're answering the question. They may not have enough background to give you because they haven't processed it,
I
but they're
agree.
answering the question.
I could agree because
That's no
she
different.
just said, "Is marriage a business?" Or the person said, "Marriage is a business." Is this true? And if so, how? So if you say nope, you really don't have to.
You don't have to have
You're
any
right.
context because I don't think it's
You're
true.
right. You're right.
From my standpoint, that's why there's a lot of times on social media I don't respond because the debate process that goes into some of these posts is a lot more than I feel like typing. I'd rather just pick up the phone, but because it's social media, half of these people I don't know. They're friends of a friend of a friend who became friends of a friend of a friend. Like, I don't have that time to debate with you when, like, it's damn near pointless. You know, it's just answering a mutual friend's question.
And a lot of times people who are debating, they don't, we're not talking for understanding.
Are we going into another topic? We can.
We can cut this
still
off
have
because
time.
I'm actually going to edit probably out the last 10 minutes of this because I think we wrapped up a minute ago. So let's stop this.
All right.